These days, more and more people find themselves involved in a twin flame dynamic, meaning that a crazy strong connection exists between them and one other person, but that one of them nonetheless starts running from the other at some point. And while some believe that this twin flame dynamic is a blueprint for the way relationships will be lived in the future, others wonder if the twin flame thing is merely an illusion, even if a compelling one. And the possibility of this being an illusion may be supported by the observation that most twins seem to be living in separation rather than in union, which is an intriguing thing by itself. Now, I don't make any claims here whether the twin flame concept is truth or illusion, but I have been part of such a dynamic myself, and I'm not taking any of this lightly. But I am proposing a hypothesis that may help to understand why so many twin flames are living in separation. And for that, let's backtrack real brief first and ask a question. And that is, what is probably the one ultimate thing that most people would want to do with their twin flame, and just with their twin flame, at some point, eventually, and repeatedly? That's right. Up there is going to be at least having sex and experiencing the most intimate and unifying orgasm ever, right? Sounds fair. Well, here you have it already though. That orgasm might be enough to mess up your entire love story. That is the ultimate bottom line of Marnia Robinson's book about Karezza. Karezza, K-A-R-E-Z-Z-A. Karezza is a form of lovemaking and essentially propagates lovemaking without orgasm. That's what it is. That's right. Lovemaking without orgasm. And the reason why orgasm should be avoided is simple, also in twin flame relationships. The reason is that orgasm prevents the two of you from bonding. Orgasm pushes you away from your twin instead of pulling you together. Yes, it's controversial. Now, to be clear, the argument is not that you cannot have sex. You can have sex as much as you want, but you should avoid the orgasming. I won't go into detail here about the mechanics behind this. For that, I recommend you read the book to figure that out yourself. But I do believe she is making a compelling case. And if her Karezza story holds up, the implications for the twin flame dynamics are simple. If we continue making love the same way we've been doing it thus far, that is with sex with orgasm, most twin flame relationships will keep ending up in separation rather than union. Now, of course, this orgasm argument does not explain why twin flames who haven't had sex are living in separation. I mean, that's a different topic. But I think it's really interesting because the idea is that no matter how strongly you believe the two of you should be together, no matter what kind of well-intended advice you've been getting, there's biological dynamics underlying the psychological or mental dynamic. And psychology is unlikely to win it from biology in this one. I'm allowed to say that I've been trained as a psychologist. Now, the good thing is, if we put this the other way around, the outlook is much more positive. Her argument is that if you practice Karezza, especially from the very beginning, chances for a successful relationship with your twin are infinitely more positive and better. The only question then is, can you do it? Can you have sex without orgasm? It's up to you to figure that out. Knowing what's at stake might make it slightly easier, which is also why the twin flame context might be an excellent place to further explore the potential of this Karezza thing. But Karezza might prove very powerful outside the twin flame context as well, of course. Many people find, quote unquote, their twin flame when they're already in a relationship. What happens then often is, of course, that they feel they have to abandon that initial relationship. Well, perhaps the Karezza influence is so strong that bonding resulting from Karezza is taking away the need to find that twin flame, regardless of whether that finding a twin flame is a conscious process or an unconscious one. Again, I don't have the answers here, but I'm certainly intrigued by the questions. And here's what I do believe. If the Karezza power is as strong as Marnia Robinson in her book eloquently claims, it will help us take the next step in our evolution as a species and as an individual. Because next to bonding, preserving our sexual energy also helps us to stay closer to our own individual essence.